He built an empire on rhythm, power, and control, but in the end, it was control. That destroyed him. For decades, Sean Diddy Combs was untouchable, the king of hip-hop, a mogul who shaped culture, wealth, and fame. But behind the private jets and platinum records, there were whispers. Whispers of fear, whispers of pain, whispers that one day, the music would stop. And it did. The world watched in disbelief as the man once called the godfather of hip-hop broke down in court, tears streaming, voice trembling, facing the reality of a 50-month federal sentence. How did a billionaire icon go from luxury mansions to a prison cell? Was this justice, or a masterclass in manipulation? Did the system finally catch up to Diddy, or did politics and power rewrite the verdict? Behind every headline lies something darker, friends turning silent, old allies speaking out, and a defense team fighting to rewrite history. From Cassie Ventura's haunting silence, to secret appeals whispered through court corridors, to a president's unexpected words that could change everything. This is more than a celebrity scandal. It's the collapse of an empire built on ego, fame, and fear. And what's coming next might be even more shocking than the verdict itself. This is the emotional fall of Sean Diddy Combs. He was the king of hip-hop, a billionaire, a visionary who turned the streets of Harlem into a global empire. But behind the fame, behind the power, behind the flawless smile, there was another story waiting to explode. This is the emotional fall of Sean Diddy Combs. Before the scandal, before the headlines, Sean Diddy Combs was an icon. The founder of Bad Boy Records, Diddy shaped the sound of an entire generation. From the notorious B.I.G. to Faith Evans, from hip-hop to fashion to global influence. He built an empire on charisma and ambition, living larger than life. From million-dollar parties to exclusive yachts, Diddy was everywhere, the definition of success. Cut to vintage clips of Diddy dancing at award shows. But even as fans celebrated his genius, insiders whispered of another side. Controlling, manipulative, and dangerously obsessed with power. Was it ambition, or something darker? The seeds of his downfall were already there, planted deep within the empire he built. Voiceover. By the late 2010s, cracks began to show. Former friends, collaborators, and even partners began speaking in code, hinting at behavior they could no longer ignore. Rumors of parties that went too far. Allegations of coercion. And a culture of silence, enforced by money, influence, and fear. Then came Cassie Ventura, the singer, the muse, the longtime partner whose story would change everything. Overlay Cassie photos with dramatic text, the lawsuit that shook Hollywood. Cassie's lawsuit revealed years of alleged abuse, manipulation, and control, painting a chilling picture of a man consumed by his own power. Social media erupted. The public demanded answers. Had hip-hop's golden king been hiding a monster beneath the surface? But the story was just beginning, and the courtroom was about to expose everything. The trial began like a storm. Testimonies, hidden recordings, and witnesses painted a disturbing timeline of control and coercion. Mila Mells, Cassie's longtime makeup artist and a friend of Diddy for over 25 years, spoke with tears in her eyes. Overlay real quote text animation. It's been heartbreaking to watch. I've known him for decades, and now to see him in court, it's just a sad day. Fade to Diddy sitting silently in court had bowed. Prosecutors described a man who used his fame as a weapon, manipulating lives behind the veil of glamour. But his defense team fought back fiercely, arguing there was no coercion, no force. No crimes beyond misunderstanding and exaggeration. The jury listened. The world speculated. And after weeks of tension, the verdict came. Guilty on 2 counts of transporting women for prostitution, but cleared of the more serious charges. A partial victory. But the damage, irreversible. The courtroom fell silent as Diddy whispered an apology to Cassie, to his fans, and to himself. Diddy, my behavior was shameful and sick. 50 months in federal prison, a $500,000 fine, 5 years of supervised release. Fame, power, pride, gone in a moment. The judge, Arun Subramanian, appointed during President Biden's administration. The charge, one that carried up to 11 years under federal law. Yet Diddy got only 4 years and 2 months. The internet exploded. Was it leniency or influence? Critics pointed out that both the judge and Diddy had voiced anti-Trump sentiments in the past, fueling conspiracy theories that politics may have quietly shaped the outcome. Overlay Real Trump interview audio. Trump. Would I pardon him? Nobody's asked. I'd look at the facts. Whether he likes me or not wouldn't matter. A single statement, and the narrative shifted again. Was Diddy being protected by political alignment, or was he a scapegoat of media manipulation? Lawyers filed an appeal, claiming the judge overstepped the jury's decision, saying the verdict didn't justify the harshness. The defense saw hope. The public saw privilege. But one thing was clear. The truth was buried under layers of power. As the news broke, social media became a battleground. Hashtag Justice for Cassie trended worldwide. Hashtag Free Diddy began gaining traction just hours later. Some fans said he was finally being held accountable. Others argued he was being targeted, a product of fame, race, and political theater. Overlay comments/tweets on screen. This isn't justice. This is celebrity privilege. For years, that's a slap on the wrist. They want to destroy another black mogul who got too powerful. Influencers debated on podcasts. News anchors speculated about Hollywood's toxic silence. Diddy's empire, once a brand of power, was now a symbol of downfall. His music vanished from playlists. Sponsors pulled out. The man who once controlled culture was now being erased from it. Who is Sean Combs really? A visionary? A manipulator? Or a broken man trapped in his own legend? Experts say power has a strange way of reshaping the mind. When fame becomes identity, empathy fades, and dominance replaces love. Diddy's empire thrived on control. The music, the money, the people. Everyone moved to his rhythm. Until one day, they didn't. Those closest to him say his downfall wasn't sudden. It was a slow unraveling. Betrayals, lawsuits, losses, each one stripped away a piece of the persona until only ego remained. Was it fear of losing power that made him dangerous? Or the pain of realizing he was no longer untouchable? Behind the cameras, Diddy wasn't the party king. He was a man haunted by legacy. Desperate to stay relevant, even as time turned against him. In a confidential post-trial interview, sources revealed something explosive. Diddy's team had allegedly prepared for prison months before the verdict. His private consultant, Sam Mogul, confirmed he was briefed on federal procedures, almost as if they knew what was coming. Mogul explained Diddy wouldn't be eligible for the usual 15% sentence reduction, meaning he'd serve almost the full term. A man once untouchable now stripped of control, forced to live by someone else's rules. Mogul's chilling words. It doesn't sink in until the judge says, "You are hereby remanded." So was Diddy's emotional breakdown in court genuine remorse or strategic performance to protect an image already collapsing? No one knows for sure. But one thing became clear. The empire of Sean Diddy Combs wasn't destroyed by outsiders. It was dismantled from within today. Diddy sits in a federal prison cell, the same man who once ruled the airwaves, the charts, and the culture. The same man who once told the world, can't stop, won't stop. But time has stopped. Fame, power, and luxury, replaced by silence, walls, and reflection. His lawyers promise appeals. His fans wait for redemption. Yet, as one chapter ends, another begins. Not of celebrity, but of consequence. Was Diddy a victim of the system he helped glorify, or the architect of his own downfall? Only time and truth will decide. After all the fame, all the power, and all the silence, Sean Diddy Combs now faces the reality no celebrity ever wants to see. A prison cell. But here's the real question. Was this justice or a setup from the very system that once celebrated him? Is Diddy paying for his sins or being punished for his secrets? Because when you look past the headlines, you start to realize this story isn't just about a fall from grace. It's about how fast the industry turns on its own. What do you believe? Was this karma finally catching up, or the biggest cover-up in hip-hop history? Drop your thoughts below. I'm reading every single comment. And if you think this story was wild, just wait until you hear what's coming next. Because the next chapter doesn't just expose the fall of a legend, it reveals who might be next. So hit that like, subscribe, and turn on the bell because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming.